There is something just so cool about this being our property. You know, we're building this alpaca barn and we're going to continue on that today. But, you know, it's just so cool that we're going to live here soon. We're getting internet installed today. So then this is going to become my office so that I can start working on the alpaca barn at lunch and stuff like that. It's just so cool that this is going to be our new home. And like we are putting our mark on this property for sure. So today we're going to be working on, I believe we're going to be working on the roof, or we're going to finish blocking and then we're going to work on the roof. Or maybe we will finish blocking, then put up the house wrap and then work on the roof. But I just called the town. I was a little worried because the walls are pretty high. But the maximum height for a shed in this town is 42 feet. So I got nothing to worry about. I also don't have my GoPro, so no time lapses today. Just gonna be just me talking to you. So hope you enjoy. So it is way colder than when we were here the other day. But so basically, the last thing that I did yesterday, or last time, was we put the top plates on and we started blocking in between the studs. So that just prevents any wobbling going on inside, provides a little bit more structural integrity. So we're gonna finish doing that. Then I think we're gonna wrap it and then gonna start working on the roof. So right now I have some wood here. I'm just gonna measure it, cut it, stick it in there, screw it, and call it a day. Pebbles is very helpful. Okay, so we are all blocked in. We got our little supports on the header now. So now it's time to figure out where the roof is gonna go and how tall we can make it. I think I planned on a 4-foot high peak. But you know, I'm gonna make it as tall as we possibly can so we can have sort of a loft for hay storage, because that is one thing that we are missing dearly right now. So I'm gonna get to it. So here's what we're gonna do. This is actually an old 2x6 from a garden that used to be over there. So I'm gonna set up a jig that is gonna sit on the inside of this wall to hold our ridge beam in place while we get our roof rafter set up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, and so the peak of our roof is gonna be 4 feet tall. So I'm gonna cut this to 4 feet plus 3 inches so that I can screw it to the top and the bottom plate so it's secure. Then I'm going to cut a little notch in here that will hold the ridge beam in place while it's sitting up there, so that I can then add in the joists. And then before I put the ridge beam up, I'm going to mark out the locations, and maybe I'll even put in the rafter ties that I have. Good idea, John. But first I'm going to set up these jigs and see if it works. Wish me luck. Pebbles actually approves it. So this is what it looks like. It's not very pretty because I only have my circular saw. But so basically this is just set up so that I can slip the ridge beam in there and it'll just hold it. It should stick out far enough so that I can still attach the joists to it on the end to hold it. So that will be good. Cut this one more time, do it on the other one, and then hang them up. This is your captain speaking, calling from 10 feet in the air. So you can see we got both of our little ridge hangers up there. It's really tall. So hopefully we can store enough hay up here. But I also got permitted for an 8x12 storage shelter. So I think right on the other side, right here, we'll have a little hay storage thing. So, and maybe we'll even put a door. Don't tell the town. Just kidding. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark up my ridge beam. I'm gonna just make sure I mark where the ridge hangers are gonna go. Then I'm gonna actually put in the ridge hangers, I'm gonna mark out where the rafter hangers are gonna go, and then I'm gonna put them in, and then I'm gonna stick this sucker up there and hope for the best. All right, I apologize for the wind if there's wind noise. So this is our ridge beam right here. It is 16 feet long, so it'll go from one end of the barn to the other. And then these are the rafter hangers that we're gonna use. So these sit right on top of the rafter, or the ridge beam rather. And so you nail them in at the top right here, and right here, and right here, 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 here. And then this is how your rafters attach to the ridge beam. So it's much easier than, you know, because this will help protect you if you don't get the angle quite right. And it'll just make sure that everything is like as secure as possible. These are my marks. So this is where the rafters are gonna end up. And so you can see the outside of this hole basically aligns with the inside of this. So if you take this and just match that up, that's pretty close to where it should be. So now I'm gonna hammer this in and hammer it in. See if I can do that with one hand. So when I first built the other alpaca barn, I found that hammering a nail was the hardest thing to do, because it's hard. Because sometimes you'll hit it and like you'll go on an angle or something like that. I got this nice framing hammer that has grips, which makes a big difference. So let's see if I can do this. Perfect. All right. So you can see, got all of our joist hangers in there, which I don't have time to do right now because the internet guy is here. So I'm gonna take our house wrap and I'm gonna start wrapping the house barn. What a royal pain in the butt that was. And then I don't have, okay, so tip for installing house wrap. Make sure you have a very sharp razor. Otherwise, it's not gonna cut well. And then you're gonna drop it and then it's gonna pull it down. But anyway, we got it done. Let's see if it's quieter inside, minus the flapping. So it is much quieter in here. There's no wind noise, so that's nice. Now I'm gonna go around with my little ladder here, staple the rest of it in. Okay, so we'll see if this works, although it's not as windy now, but whew. So we have the entire barn house wrapped. See now? See where we bought it? But it's actually really nice. And like it makes a huge difference. So like over here, I don't know if you can hear the wind. Let's see if we just go behind this. Immediately stops. Such a good vapor barrier. This is gonna be so great. So now that we got this, I am gonna mark out where my joists are gonna be, or where my rafters are gonna be on the roof. I'm gonna put the ridge beam up, and I'm gonna prep to cut some rafters. And then man, we are ready for siding and then roofing. This has gone way too fast. And sorry for the weird angle, it's kind of sitting on a tree right now. Woo! All right. So ridge beam is up. That is just at the very tippy top of my limit. Okay, so cutting rafters. There's a bunch of different ways to do this, but basically there's 2 or 3 really important cuts that you need to make. So our roof pitch is gonna be 8/12, because for every 12 inches of run, we have 8 inches of rise. meaning for every 12 inches we go horizontally, we go 8 inches vertically. So when you have that calculation, you can then cut your rafters, and I will now show you how. All right, so here's how I will figure out the roof pitch in a really, or figure out where the bird's mouth is in a really unsophisticated way. So I got my top cut there, and it is up against the ridge beam. It is screwed in just a little bit with one screw, and then I'm just gonna make a mark on the other side where the bird's mouth is gonna go, and then I will show you how to cut it out from there. All right, so as long as your measurement, as long as your roof pitch is pretty standard, it's gonna be really easy to find out the top cut with your speed square. So this is gonna be your pivot point right here. And so you figure, so this is the side that's gonna touch the ridge beam. So you're gonna move it until you hit the right number on your common scale. And this is for the rise. So our pitch is 812, so you move it until you hit 8. And so you can see, you match it right along the outside. And there's our angle. So you just cut that, and then that will match what we got on the roof. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make a template. So I'm gonna cut one and test it, make sure it works. Then I'm gonna use that one to set up all of my other rafters all at once. And since I don't have the right camera, you're not gonna see a time lapse of me doing it. You're just gonna see the finished product in 3, 2, 1. Now nothing is holding that up except its own friction. So that is a good sign. So that's gonna be my template. Now I'm gonna cut out my 14 rafters, start hanging them up. All right, so here's where we're at. I have a couple rafters up, but I have them all cut, as you can see over here, so they're ready to go. But I have now run out of time today, so gonna have to check in with you guys next time. I think I'm also gonna have to square the barn up a little bit. I might have rushed through this a little bit too fast, but we will see. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you want to watch the whole playlist of the first time we built an alpaca barn, you can check it out right here. We put out new videos on Mondays and Fridays, and we go live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, so make sure you stop by next time and say hello. Thanks for watching.